Hey there, it's Lena here. I'm back again talking about camellias. I think growing camellias in containers is slowly turning into an obsession for me. Camellias are much loved and much sought after for their exquisite flowers that bloom in the late fall throughout early spring, and also for their glossy, dark evergreen leaves that stay on the shrub all year round, making it a very attractive plant. If you live in USDA Zone 7 to 10, you'll be able to grow camellias in your garden, giving you a wonderful winter interest. Some camellia varieties can be grown down to Zone 6, depending on which varieties you're looking at. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the differences between the two species of camellias that are widely used in the landscape for their ornamental values, and they are Camellia japonica and Camellia sasanqua. But before we go into the details, I'd like to give you a little bit of background information on this plant. So Camellia belongs to the tea family or Diaceae family. Camellia is the genus name, and within the genus there are many species, almost up to 300 species I think, and within the species there are different varieties as well. So the two species here that I have, Sasanqua and Japonica. This one is the Sasanqua. It's a variety called Shishikashira, and this is Camellia japonica. This is a variety called Mrs. Tingley. My Mrs. Tingley is not in bloom yet at the moment, but when she is, her flowers look like this. First, let's take a look at their similarities. Both Camellia japonicas and Camellia sasanquas love slightly acidic soil that is well draining. pH levels between 5 to 6.5 is ideal. They both love to be protected from hot afternoon sun or like early morning sun. If you don't have a spot in your garden that is suitable for camellias, you can also grow them in containers. As a matter of fact, all the camellias that I have, and I have 5, they are right now being grown in containers, and they have been doing really well for me. So they're actually pretty easy to grow in containers. They are both evergreen and ornamental that require very low maintenance. You don't have to clean up the leaves in the fall or nothing like that. And they don't require a lot of pruning because of their slow growth. What else is the same? Flower colors. So of all the Camellia japonicas and sasanquas that I've seen so far, they come in 3 main colors, whites, pinks, and reds. The 2 varieties that I have here, they both have pink blooms. So those are the similarities. Now, the differences between the two. If you take a look at these two, or actually, let's take a look at them up close. So these are 5 camellias that I have growing in containers on my patio. The one in the middle, Shishikashira, she is the only Camellia sasanqua that I have. The other 4 are all Camellia japonicas. My Camellia sasanqua Shishikashira in the middle is the smallest in size because she's the brand new addition to the family. I just got her 2 days ago. Whereas her cousins, the Camellia japonicas, have all been in these containers for about 2 years. So from outer appearance, you can tell right away that the leaves on the Camellia sasanqua are much smaller than those of the Camellia japonicas. Camellia sasanquas have leaves that are about an inch or an inch and a half long, whereas the japonicas have leaves that are about 2 inches, and sometimes they go as big as 4 to 5 inches, like this variety, for example. This is Camellia japonica debutante. She has leaves that can easily go for 4 or 5 inches. My Camellia japonica debutante is not blooming anymore. She was blooming really well just last month. This footage was taken last month before we got hit really hard with deep freeze, and it burned all the buds and all the flowers. But this was her flowers when she was blooming. Really magnificent flowers. And so that's our second difference between Japonica and Sasanqua. In terms of flower size and forms, Camellia japonica is the winner in these two categories. Their flowers could go up to 4 or 5 inches. This one wasn't quite fully open and it was already like 2 inches. Whereas on the Camellia Sasanquas, which is what we're looking at right now, their blooms are smaller. They go for about 1 inch or 2, usually no more than that. And they usually come in 2 forms, single and semi-doubles, which means they have a single row or more of petals around the disc. They usually have open centers where we could see the bright yellow stamens inside. But with Camellia Sasanquas, what they lack in size and form of the flowers, they make up for in quantity and fragrance. I've only read about Camellia Sasanquas in full bloom because this is the first one that I have, and she's not mature yet, so I'm not sure. But some websites say that some Camellia Sasanqua varieties have fragrance, although I must add that Shishigashira doesn't have any fragrance. They also say that Camellia Sasanquas, when they're in bloom, they are such prolific bloomers that they are a sight in the wintertime. When I read this, I got really excited because I have had Camellia japonicas for about 2 seasons, and they are, to me, are really prolific bloomers already. Is it okay if we take a pause real quick, my friends? Because I want to show you how many buds I'm having right now on my Camellia japonica for this variety called Tom Knudsen. Tom Knudsen is a variety that produces red, fully double flowers. Take a look at those healthy, swollen buds. My heart's jumping for joy, really. And I'm so excited to know that Camellia Sasanquas are supposed to be even more prolific than this. Wow, the abundance that is about to hit me. I only fertilize my camellias once in the springtime, and when I do, I make sure to never overdo it. If you're wondering how I plant my camellias, like which soil I use and how big my containers are, I will include the link to that video in the description below. Alright, now back to our main topic of discussions. So we've talked about leaf size, flower size, form, quantity, fragrance. Our next difference is their growth habit. So if you take a look at the Sasanqua, you'll see that it has like kind of a more like horizontal growth, whereas the Camellia japonicas have like an upright, more like vertical growth. Also, Camellia Sasanquas have like an open form, whereas japonicas are like more dense. Next, let us talk about the differences that you can't see right away just by looking at them. You would have to have had camellias for a while or research this information to know. We're going to talk about bloom time first. So bloom time is a little bit different. Camellia Sasanquas bloom earlier, from anywhere from like late October all the way through December, January. So pretty much late fall till midwinter. And from early to midwinter all the way through spring, Camellia japonicas will pick up the show. This is a close-up of my Mrs. Tingley, who's getting ready to bloom. And today is February 9th, and she's probably going to bloom for me all the way till late April or maybe like early May. So excited. In terms of sun tolerance and cold hardiness, Camellia Sasanquas are more tolerant of sun than the japonicas, but they're not as cold hardy. So be sure to read the labels when you purchase your camellias. If left to grow on their own in ground without pruning, Camellia japonicas can reach more than 20 feet, where Camellia Sasanquas will stay relatively short, between 10 to 15 feet. And that's it. I feel like that's a lot of information. But it's good to be well informed before you spend your money, right? I bought my camellias from Monrovia, and Lowe's usually carries this brand. I've had 100% success rate with this company so far, so I'm really grateful for them. If you're thinking of which camellia species or variety is the best for you, I hope the information today helps you make your decision. Thank you for watching, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.